I think that people who are trying to recover traditional Protestant doctrine, and there's all sorts of different views on Matthew 24 and on eschatology and things like that. But the dispensational view is a particularly pernicious one and false one that subverts the Christian religion, destroys it from the inside out, and in terms of moral culpability, right? If people are telling you, hey, this is what Christians believed in the past, faithful, godly Christians, here's one thing they believed, here are other things, right? Whether, historic premillennialism, amillennialism, postmillennialism, different views that way, right? Those, I think, are doctrinally within the pale of orthodoxy. And dispensationalism is this novel new thing that's just on the outside, right? It's new, right, and it's made up, and it's what is it made up for is to justify Zionism.
Right. Dispensationalism was the theological framework with the sole intent of setting the stage for Zionism.
Yeah. And so if you have people now, right now we have the internet, we have the ability to undo the propaganda regime over the last 100 years, or at least push back against it. And if you're hearing this, for the first time, you should at least ask yourself, right, well, what if everybody I've been around my entire life is wrong? Because in reality, we're the tiny minority that in the history of the church that believes this. The
right.
vast majority did not believe this at all.
Did not believe dispensationalism.
And right, you should ask yourself, why? Right? Did we just finally just start to read the Bible correctly for the first time, or
right.
are we deceived? Right? Should I give this a hearing or not?
That's the thing that people always say, like, so whether it's patriarchy, people I'll say like, well, I think that I'm a head covering guy, or the husband, male headship in the home and in the state, not just the home and the church, but even in the state and these different spheres of human society. And, people say like, don't you ever at least second guess yourself and start to think that you would be wrong because you're in such a sliver of a minority? And it's funny because the irony is I always say, well, the reason I hold the position I do is precisely for that reason. I don't want to be in the tiny minority. And what you don't realize is that I'm in the minority for the last 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. You are in the minority over the last 2,000 years.
For all of time.
Read anybody before the 1500s? No. Anybody before 1960?
Yeah.
We're talking very recently. Read anybody.
Read Herman Bavinck.
And they talk about, you read them on roles of men and women. Read them on their political theology. Mm-hmm. Read them on the state legislating not only the second table of the law, how we should love our neighbor, but also the first table of the law.
Whoa.
Read not just what was happening under Constantine, in the 400s or whatever. Read what was happening in these United States just 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Just 200 years ago, Sabbath laws. And honestly, not just 200 years ago. In Texas right now, you still can't buy liquor on Sunday until, what is it? I think it's like 1 p.m. or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Why? Like, I've got, a friend who owns a butcher shop and it's also a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant. And they open every single day at I think it's 9 or 10 a.m., except for Sunday.
Yeah.
They open afternoon. Why? Because Sunday is church. That is a hangover of a blue law, a Sabbath law. Mm-hmm. So we're not, we are not the minority. Yeah. The majority of people today are the minority if you simply pan out and look at history as a whole, and you don't even have to pan out that far. That's my point is, guys are like, Christian nationalism will never happen. Well, here's the deal. It has happened before, and it has happened here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
To say
somewhere else,
It
but
will
here.
never, like, as if it's this
Not that
new,
long ago, but just recently.
this new radical thing that nobody ever thought of before.
Right.
It's like, no, this was the baseline of what Christians believe.
So people say, like, why are you guys so confident, with the videos that you record or on Twitter or whatever, like guys like you and Andrew and AD or John Harris, or why are you guys, the Ogden boys, why are you guys, you're so confident? We're so confident because this is what Christians have believed forever.
Yeah.
Until very recent. The real question should be, why are you, I support the current thing, with your Ukraine flag, an Israel flag in your bio.
Yeah, wearing a mask.
Why are you so confident when you stand on the rich tradition that stretches back for 15 minutes? Why are you confident?